every one of them canceled except for us. And when we had arrived and had coffee, when we got out of quarantine, we had coffee with our contact, and he shared with us the same exact thing. It's like, when I was praying for your team, I'm really happy that you guys came, because I even felt like God was speaking to come and be like Joshua and Caleb. And I'm like, my name's Caleb. And so it was just a lot of confirmation that it was the right thing. And he's like, Bible training isn't a popular thing here, so I'm not surprised that you had a little resistance coming in. And so it was really cool to see it in that perspective. This is our view from our high-rise, living like kings. The doctor and nurse, they took us out for a day. They took us to different sites in their cars. Genghis Khan statue. This is where I really started struggling. We had gotten out of quarantine, and I'm going to wrap up here in just a few minutes. We had gotten out of quarantine, and we got to our home, and we're just like, thank you, God, for getting us out. USNBC messaged us the same day and said, you might have to stay in Mongolia for another month or two, because everything is shutting down. The airports are closed, there's no flights coming in or out, but we'll let you know if anything changes. And I had a sense that maybe that could happen just because of how everything was going, but I just didn't want that to happen. We didn't have enough money. Everyone was just ready to go home after being in quarantine. And it took me a little bit to accept the fact that maybe we might have to stay. And it was the next morning I woke up and I spent time with God, and I realized we might have to stay. So I was trying to get myself accept it and then move on. I ended up calling Mom that morning, and as soon as I heard her voice, I just started crying. I really didn't want to stay for another 2 months. And this was, I think, the extent of the emotional and just mental hardship was in this moment when I accepted, okay, we might have to stay, but even if we stay, God will provide, because He's gotten us here so far. And so it was difficult. We couldn't even exchange money. We had to, the contact was buying us stuff, and then we would PayPal him. Oh, miracle. We had flights that were canceled, flights that were changed, flights that couldn't get refunded. But they did. The U.S. Embassy messaged us and said, okay, Caleb, you and your team, there's a slight chance that you can get out. Mongolia is sending 2 flights, one to Japan, one to Moscow, to bring Mongolians back home. And it's possible that you can get on that flight and get home. But don't count on it. But we're trying our best. We're like, okay. And so at this time, our team, we're trying to pray and just get God's perspective. Like, if we do have to stay, okay, what are we going to do? And so on and so forth. The next day, so we were out of quarantine for 5 days before we got on a flight. We got a flight. They got us on the list. We went and waited in line at the airport for 3 hours. We got our ticket. I remember walking out of there because our cards were declined. Like, even our YWAM cards weren't working. Like, we're so close, just why can't anything just work? And so our contact bought the tickets for us, and we paid them back. But it was really expensive flights. And we had previously, we believed that God was going to get us a flight to Japan, because we had already purchased flights from Japan back home. So we believed that God would, and He did. It was a lot of money, but we were blessed to be able to get that flight home. So we ended up leaving on the same day that we were originally supposed to leave.
Wow.
So God got us to Mongolia miraculously. God got us out of Mongolia miraculously, all in the same time frame that was planned. And traveling back, we arrived in Colorado. In all my times of traveling anywhere, this was by far the easiest travel home. No one asked us questions, no one took our temperature, and we walked literally through customs, which was unheard of. And we arrived in Chicago, walked out, got into the van that my friend Wayne picked us up in, and just, God is good. God is good. Oh my gosh. And so then the school had a graduation. It was socially distanced, of course. There was another team that had gone to Tanzania who had come back. They were in quarantine at the training center. We didn't have to. I still don't understand why. I think it has to do with the country they came from, more extreme and not. Because Mongolia didn't have any cases. So we had graduation at the doorway. So we had cake and pop and pizza, and we said things, and the school ended. And it was weird, but it was amazing. And God is really good. And so I just reminding of this theme of that the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness does not overcome it. And that I want to pull out that we are a light because He is a light. And He lives inside of us. And He is faithful. And I even wanted to take just like a minute this morning, of silence, we can individually ask God, how can I be a light in my life, in my work, in my family? And just giving Him space to speak encouragement to us today. So I will, I'll lead us in, and then we'll just take a minute and just let God speak to us this morning about what does it mean to be a light. So Heavenly Father, I just thank You so much for Yourself. And I thank You that we can know You and be known by You and walk in a relationship with You. Lord, I thank You that You are with us in our lives in every moment, in every step, in every thought and feeling. And when the world says no way, we say Yahweh. Because You are the one true God who is committed. And we thank You that, Lord, You have been speaking to us this morning, and that You will continue to do that even now. And God, would You show us in our own lives how can we be a light? So God, let us not be disheartened by the things around us, the things that are disheartening and hard to experience. Let us not be discouraged that we're not where we're supposed to be, but that You have us in a perfect place, a perfect process, and You are guiding us. We're in different places, but Lord, help us to see that we are good in Your sight, that as Your sons and daughters, as Your lights to this earth, that You are committed to each one of us and patient with us and teaching us, understanding how You work and engage with the world. And I just thank You for Your commitment to us and Your sacrifice for us, to die, to be with us, and live life with us. Lord, You said that there was going to be hard times, but You said that You will overcome the world and that we have You in the hard times. So let us hold on to that. And take risks. When we feel like You're talking to us, let's take risks. Risks of looking like an idiot, and looks of being wrong, risks of being wrong. Help us to bring Your presence everywhere we go. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay. Just briefly, what I'm doing now, I had a break after the Bible school. Everything was shut down, as we all experienced with the coronavirus, and so I work in properties and maintenance right now, so I help take care of the lawn, the outdoor, and when things break, I'm kind of the fix-it dude. If I don't know how to fix it, I look up YouTube. I'm also one of the head of our admissions department right now, so I am the person that you will talk to on the phone if you want to come and do a discipleship training school at BSN or be on staff. So, and I love that. I didn't realize how much I like talking. Because now we're into this. I know, I'm very aware of the time. Evangelism, I'm helping a team right now form evangelism. How can we on a weekly basis be intentional about going out into the public and praying for people. It's obviously different because of COVID, but we're in this, we're kind of developing it now. What does it look like? Does it have to look like anything, or do we just go? You know, so that's in the beginning stages. I'm seeing some counseling. I realize that the more I lead, the more things come up in my heart that I have to work through. And some of the things have been a little difficult for me on my own, working through it. And so I've been able to be blessed to be able to see a counselor every week, and even have some small groups too. So God is really taking care of me, providing for me my every need. And then as far as the future, I feel like He still said to commit to YWAM Madison. The schooling there, I don't know specifically future or vision. I just know that I just want to serve Him in this way, because I know that He's training me. He's doing a lot in me as far as discipline and healthy thinking and not being emotionally led and just all these things. And it's been difficult, but it's also been really good. So this is just some actually practical needs. So with the extra air flights, travel, because of Mongolia, I owe YWAM about $2,266. And I'm just throwing that out there just to let you know where I'm at. And I've also had some extra expenses come up with monthly living. So I had a friend move out, so my rent went up, and then I'm on my own insurance and stuff now. So I'm currently at $930 committed monthly support, because that's YWAM is, we're all monthly supported by friends, family, churches, and stuff. And so my goal is $1,500 to $2,000 committed a month, because then that would be able to help me actually save money too, instead of everything I get spending it on gas bills and rent. So I usually like to do it on a one-on-one basis, but I just want to throw it out there today, just to let you guys know where I'm at and how you can be praying for me in that way. And then other prayer points is just that I would continue to understand and obey God's direction and guidance, protection from the spiritual climate of Madison. There's just a lot of stuff going on up there right now. It's easy to get confused and get discouraged. I would love my supporters well and keep updated. I'm not good at that. And then love my YWAM community, investing in there and what God is doing there. And then just guidance through the counseling. I wouldn't be discouraged by it. I think that might be the last slide. So I thank you guys so much for giving me the time, the opportunity to share. I had been looking forward to it for a while. I wasn't sure if I'd get a chance. I messaged Jeff and I'm like, are you guys wearing masks down here? And he's like, Caleb, no, this is Minneapolis, Iowa. It's just like, and I'm not saying like masks are bad. I'm just, everywhere in Madison, everyone's wearing masks. Everyone's social. It's a very serious thing. So it's just more relaxed here, which I was looking forward to. So, but I love you guys and thank you. Feel free to talk to me afterwards, ask me questions, or yeah. So, thank you.
Thank you.